Yeah, yeah. We just chillin' and vibing. Good conversations with good people. Oh, good conversations with good people. Yeah.
Yo, this your boy Larry, and I'm chilling and vibing with Cam, Rachel, and Sylvia from Chosen Agency Life Insurance. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Good, good.
Well, I appreciate y'all for coming to chill and vibe. So, Cam,
Yeah.
how did you get into life insurance?
Well, so I was in actually a workout group with our CEO Erica, and she invited me when she first started with life insurance. This was in 2019, beginning of 2019. And at first, I was a little like, oh, what do I need to talk about life insurance? I didn't really understand, like a lot of people. And she helped me to see the importance and the value of life insurance. So once I learned from Erica, I understood that people, especially Black people, needed more education on finance, life insurance, retirement, and it was going to change our community to get it out there more. So I wanted to use my voice to do it. Um, One of the things I found was doing some research. I found that 67% of Black households do not have retirement savings, which is a ridiculous number. It's scary, you know, and I want to reduce that number in my lifetime. I want to be a part of reducing that number. So that's what got me into life insurance.
What about you, Rachel?
So this is like my second time being licensed. Prior to this, I still am a retail manager, I'm like a retail executive. And my kids were younger, probably about 20 years ago now. And I just got upset one day and quit my job. And right when you put your resume out there, the first people that get you are typically insurance agencies, right? Because they're like, it's fresh meat on the market. So I actually got licensed. And my mother, actually, of course, was the first person to buy a policy from me. Fast forward, I went back into retail because I could not really manage a commission only job back then. My kids were young. I wasn't going out prospecting anything and leaving my babies at home. Um, so I got back into retail, but fast forward about 10 years, my mother actually developed cancer and had to tap into her life insurance policy. So I basically was that story where I seen insurance work for someone in my family, and it actually paid her out so much money. She used that money to put a down payment on the home that she grew up in. So basically, life insurance not only kept her from worrying about how she was going to pay her bills while she was recovering with cancer, but it basically helped create, an asset in our family to help promote the legacy. So I'm kind of locked into insurance as a believer of experience and the power of what it can do for somebody in your family.
What about you, Sylvia? How did you?
So I actually had two cousins that passed away unexpectedly without life insurance. One died from a drug overdose, and then my other cousin, she was murdered. And so that just let me know I need to go out and educate our community, educate my families, just to make sure that nobody is having to raise money to bury their loved ones. I always knew about life insurance. My mom always taught us about it when we were kids. So I knew the importance of having it, and I know that there are several people out there that don't have it. So I just felt like I just had a duty, like it's just my job to go out and make sure I educate folks and just let them know it's way more affordable than what they think it is. Mhm.
Rachel, how did you all connect?
So we connected by kind of being recruited into the agency together, but our company hosts what's called mastermind. We host mastermind events 4 times a year, and Sylvia and I met back in like August 2023. Well, we knew each other before that, but like live in person at that meeting, and we just connected. And there was like a group of four of us, and we just were so tight. Um, and one of our members then came to a next mastermind where we met Kamaria, and we hung out and just we're able to just kind of have a meeting of the minds. We're going through the same thing, trying to build this insurance business so we can share like the ups and downs and wins. And then you just meet your tribe at these places and kind of hang out at the coffee shop and really share goals. And now like these are the ladies that helped me hit my broker promotion that we'll talk about later. So like really when people, on Facebook and social media, people always talk about like, oh, I need business besties. Like These are my business besties that God just connected us with, so we can deliver this mission of, keeping our community off GoFundMe, basically.
Mhm.
So Cam, what do you love about being a insurance agent?
I love the freedom, right? So it's a two-sided coin. I like the freedom it provides me. I'm able to work from home. I choose my schedule. My income is based on my inputs. So I make money based on my work and not so much what someone else deems my value to be. I love that. I love that I get to lead a team. And yeah, I love that. But on the other side, I love the freedom that we get to offer to other people by offering them life insurance and retirement products that can change their family's life and create generational wealth. So,
What about you, Sylvia?
So the freedom, like Cam said, of course, I'm a braider, and I'm ready to retire from doing hair. And life insurance is going to help me do that. By being a life insurance agent, I get to work wherever. As long as I got a computer and Wi-Fi, I can work remotely. I can be at my girls' sports events. I can be available for family events, and I can get my family covered so that we don't have to worry about GoFundMe's. So being a life insurance agent offers me just freedom and just being able to educate, mentor, and train folks, because training is something that I love doing. So by me building my team and helping folks out, they're gaining courage, they're gaining freedom, and they're also gaining, financial security for their families.
What do you love about it, Rachel?
Probably the same thing. So I think that for me, like I said, I worked in retail for a long time. So my children, I mentioned when I first got licensed, were probably 2 and 3. They're now, 18 and recently 20. So thinking back on all of the Christmases, Thanksgivings, right, Black Fridays that I had to be at work. Sometimes, I remember there was a Thanksgiving I didn't even get a plate, right, like because I was going to run somebody's store. Um, and so when I think about too all the millions and profits and managers that I've taken from sales associate to managers who are store managers now running companies making the millions, once I realized I could do that for myself and there's no real way to work your way rich in corporate America, that's why I kind of transitioned. So right now I still do work a traditional 9 to 5, right? And then slowly right now I'm transitioning into back to becoming a full-time agent just because now that's what the mission is going to require based on where the team has grown to. But it's really the freedom. And for me, it's also being a door for somebody else, right? Like when I have agents that came to me and they're like, I'm struggling financially, I'm struggling with confidence, I don't have life insurance, like I'm just feel like I need something, like I can't keep working this job, I feel some type of way. And then to be able to tell someone like, hey, so this study material, I got a discount, you can probably get licensed in most states for under $200. So when you think about also the opportunity, like for $200, you can invest that. If someone buys a $50 a month policy as insurance agents, we basically make about 250. So literally starting an insurance business is quick ROI for people. You get licensed quick, and then this business basically has the potential to deliver 3 income streams for you. So it's a great way to be not only like a hybrid entrepreneur and do this completely part-time, but you're helping the community, you're creating opportunities for other people. And then now that like I'm an official broker, like I'm probably going to be hiring my first employee this year. So like I'm now actually going to be creating jobs. So literally by taking a chance on myself, getting an insurance license, I'm now going to be a job creator. So I think just the potential from you being an employee and having that employee mindset to really understanding that running a business or starting a business isn't me wanting to go start Apple, right? Or something crazy tomorrow. I just want to start with myself. And then you can branch out or you can operate as a solo producer and have a business, paying residual and create legacy for your family that way. So there's so many different ways to build a business and to basically create some income for yourself that life insurance is just like the easiest, I want to say most legit business that you can offer. And then the research does show life insurance is the number one industry that creates the most millionaires. So if you get in, you get the right mentors, you get the right team. I mean, I've achieved a goal in 3 years that I was working in retail for 20 years. So it's one of those things where you get in and advance yourself and you can really change your life and others fairly quickly.
Yeah, what's a common misconception people always say about life insurance?
I think what I hear the most is that it's too expensive. The second one would be that if you're young and you're healthy, you don't need it.
Mhm.
So, one, it doesn't have to be too expensive. There are all different types of life insurance. There are different types of carriers, different amounts of coverage. There's just options, and that's why it's important to have a licensed agent help walk you through it. But also, when you're young and healthy, that is the best time to get life insurance. It's less expensive, and it guarantees your insurability. So you what happens sometimes people get a little older, life insurance gets a lot more expensive. Sometimes people they develop diseases where either it makes the life insurance more expensive or they're not eligible for life insurance at all anymore. Which we actually have a workaround for that too. But in general, they would not be insurable. So it makes things very challenging. So those are the two I hear the most for sure.
Can I add just one too for people that if you smoke weed, you still can get life insurance.
Mhm.
Tell them.
That's a good one for the community.
Tell them.
And so for me, Larry, some common misconceptions is that you can't get life insurance if you're sick. Similar to what Cam just said. We do have carriers that will cover you if you are sick, you are diabetic, you're a cancer survivor. There's options for you out there that most folks don't know about. And then folks like to say term life insurance is the best life insurance. You don't need whole life insurance. Well, that's not true. It depends on what the person's needs are. Some folks could benefit from whole life, and some could benefit from term if their budget isn't a large amount each month. So it just depends on what the person needs are. And then the fact that folks love to say that children don't need life insurance. It's so many children, teenagers that's dying left and right, unexpectedly, gang violence, gun violence. Like it's so much going on in this world, and we have to cover our babies with life insurance. Like it's important for them to have coverage. Just because they're children, that doesn't mean that they don't need life insurance. A child's life insurance policy can build cash value. It can build wealth for them for when they're older. So it's important that we do go out and just educate and let folks know that your child needs life insurance just as well as you do.
Rachel, how has the industries changed and how to stay ahead of the curve?
So I think one of the biggest things is social media. So I think when I first got, so I mentioned I was licensed back in 2005, right? So someone called me, I went on a weird interview, right? I had to go to their office. They expected me to go out and knock on doors. And who wants to go knock on doors, right? That's a little scary. And now you can't just go to people's houses and then be like, hey, I'm here to sell you insurance. Give me your social security number, your bank account info. Like that's not going to work in today's, in today's world. And then COVID also basically, I think, changed the way we had to go to market as insurance agents. So instead of knocking on doors, basically now, when Cam and Sylvia are talking about the freedom, like we're selling insurance on Zoom. So literally in a format like right now, we're telling people, I'm sharing my screen. I'm talking about here's your options. Here's some, here's what this money can grow. Here's how we'll cover your family. So it really has changed from days where we would be in a stuffy office, right? The insurance agent would kind of be a 55-year-old white guy. He'd be coming, you'd be, grandma and grandpa would be paying him cash. To now, literally, I've been in this industry for 3 years. Every agent and client that I've ever have come to me free from me marketing myself on Facebook, from the strategies that we've learned and teach at our agency. So it's literally like I've invested very little to make a great living and a great career, but the internet, social media has changed. We can educate people via video and platforms like this. So it's actually changed for the better because we can cover more people. For example, we have a webinar that talks about the 3 types of life insurance. We have a webinar that talks about the agent opportunity. So I don't even have to call people, knock on doors, show up at recruiting events, interview people all day. Like we've got automations, systems, and tools that kind of run it. So I would say just technology and kind of the way the world had to shift in business after COVID really changed. But the benefit of that is our agency's ahead of the curve. So it's why we're able to kind of still thrive as other people kind of felt real dips in their business once they couldn't adapt. So kind of like the, Blockbuster Netflix thing, like
Mhm.
Blockbuster's out, Netflix
Yeah.
in, you know. And we might be like, I don't know, the new StreamYard or, apps like this where, now we're on podcasts and we're really talking and like I don't even know what, impact this is going to have just from us having this conversation. So, just the thing that social media now can even help us educate via using like our friends and networks market is amazing in what we can do and spreading the power of life insurance.
What about you, Cam?
Well, I would piggyback on everything that Rachel said. Particularly, social media has changed everything. It's changed our processes. It's changed our reach. It's changed how carriers handle business. It has really just innovated the entire industry. But also, the demographics have changed. So, life insurance is a white male dominated field, right? As many are. But as I've grown in the life insurance industry, I've seen more and more women, more and more people of color, more and more people that are LGBTQ. Like, just it's gotten way more diverse, and we've been blessed with an agency that's very diverse to like kind of lead the way there. So I think the demographics have changed a lot, but a big change has been with, I think this may be connected to social media, but with the plethora of knowledge out there, um, businesses are held more accountable today than I think ever before. And the carriers are adjusting, they're adapting. So now, people who couldn't get covered before, we have options for them. 5 years ago, when I started, finding a policy for someone with diabetes was near impossible. Things have changed. They're creating products that help more people, a wider range of people. And I think that's a really big change that the industry has seen recently, for sure.
Sylvia, what tools and strategies have you used?
My mentors, Chris and Erica Cobb, like that's my main strategy, leaning on them, learning from them. They have been like the leading force in my success outside of God Himself. Because they laid a platform out for us. They're here to guide us and talk to us. They facilitate trainings for us. We have weekly meetings where we're coming together. We have our quarterly masterminds, like Rachel said earlier, and we're getting in a room with those like-minded individuals. Leaning on my sidelines, Rachel and Kamaria and other folks on the team. They're correcting me when I'm wrong and just pushing me to get better when I'm, falling a little behind or whatever the case is. So reading is another tool. Before Chosen, I didn't read like I should have read. But now we have a book of the month that we share within the team for everyone to read at the same time so that we can just digest and everybody's pretty much on the same page growing together. So just reading, leaning on my mentors and my sidelines has really helped me to grow as an individual in this industry.
About you, Rachel?
So the strategies that I basically use have been a lot about mindset. So I think reading has been key because a lot of people don't understand that starting a business isn't for the weak. Even if it's a home-based business, a cooking business, it doesn't really matter what it is. And you'll hear a lot more no's than yeses. You hear a lot of what is it? How's your little business doing? You still a little insurance agent, you still selling them policies. I see you posting on Facebook about, them terms and you really have to kind of understand that the mission is there, right? So it's not easy to really even think about death every day, right? The reality is 8,000 people die in the US every day. So the strategy that I use is honesty. So in my own family, in my own household, it really sounds like, when someone's like, oh, so and so died, I'm like, wonder if they had life insurance. Sometimes that seems insensitive, but like as a life insurance agent right now, that's the first thing I think of. And the reality is, if you're in a room of 10 people, five of them don't have life insurance. And then of those five that do, three of them probably only have it through their job and don't realize if they quit, get laid off, or get fired tomorrow, that is gone, right? So for me, a lot of the times it's just this, right? So when I'm on field trainings with people, when I'm talking to clients, when I'm on social media, I'm trying to say something respectfully, but kind of respectfully offensive to spur people to get to action, right? Because we all think, tomorrow's not promised, but like someone passed away in my family that was 53 years old last month, and she literally had a common cold. Now, she did have life insurance, right? But I think we have to understand that, like, you have to take action on anything, whether it's changing your lifestyle in terms of, I want to change my family's financial future. Well, there's 8,000 people dying every day. So they're all waiting for somebody in that family was waiting for you to do something. And the other thing is I like to use facts and basically just tell people like there's 11,000 people retiring every day, right? And the reality is most of the people like us for on this call, is, right, we're probably a first generation business owner, business starter, right? So our family is already kind of looking over like, oh, well, if something happened, we're just going to go ask Rachel. No, the hell you're not. Because Rachel is protecting her house. And I told
Mhm.
you what we were doing, right? I told you we were getting life insurance. I told you we were starting a business, and you have to just tell people like, the way that you have to operate in 2025, especially with the political climate, the way the markets are, is you have to do what they tell you on airplanes. Put your own mask on first, and you have to start telling people no. So I need you to understand when all hell breaks loose, which it might in the next 30, 60, 93 years, right? The Pettis household is going to be secure. If you did not follow the plan that Rachel, cousin Rachel, or Auntie Rachel told you, don't get mad if the answer is
Mhm.
no. So I
Mhm.
think you just have to tell people, and especially in our community, because we also have to educate because we just might not know. We have to dispel myths because we might have been told something crazy, or we might even have seen something, right? Because some of us probably seen grandma and grandpa pay the life insurance man. And then when grandpa died, all of a sudden there was no policy because it was a term and it expired the year before because the insurance person, like, we just didn't know. Or somebody dies and we don't know because grandma literally had that insurance policy under the mattress, but didn't tell anybody it was there, right? So it's like found money 10 years later when someone has to prove that you so and so's cousin. Like, we just have to talk to people in straightforward because I don't know if they're not listening straightforward, but we're behind the curve. And I think I wrote down like what you said earlier, like other communities are set up. We're still playing catch up.
Mhm.
Life insurance, especially whole life cash value life insurance, is how wealthy families build things. Disneyland was funded fully with cash value life insurance. Rockefeller's right now, their wealth is through life insurance. McDonald's, Stanford University, I could go on and on. So people can say what they want, but it is the tool that literally Johnny across the street from me, who's 25, I guarantee you he did not have to fix his credit, right? He did not have to come up after he taught himself that he needed credit, right? He didn't have to fix his credit. He didn't have to work for 20 years. He didn't have to figure out how I was going to get this down payment and take it out of his 401k or whatever. Johnny walked in there with Grandpa Johnny's insurance money or the inheritance money, and that is the difference. And we're not understanding that, oh, by the way, if we put $25 in our kids' policy, that they're doing the same thing at 25, or they're paying college for 25. And oh, by the way, I'm borrowing from my own money, so I'm paying myself back. I'm not asking the bank for any money. I'm asking the bank of Rachel Pettis. And that is the power and the way we've got to talk to our community. Like, you guys are missing out. Mary gave a stat the other day, and the black dollar stays in our community for 6 hours. I run a store where people come in and they put money like on their Chime card, their cash apps, and I watch them. They come in, they go to the ATM, and they put that money, and the money zaps right out of their hand. And I'm operating way less than 6 hours. So the reality is, Black wealth is scheduled to be zero by 2053. And when I tell you it's going to hell quickly, like, we need more agents, we need more opportunities like this. So the strategy that I use is literally every opportunity that we have to talk about this, to educate people, to figure out what angle of this we can help them leverage to make their life better, is just kind of just getting the word out, like screaming it from the rooftops, sending messages, posts, like however we can do it is what we need to do for our community. Like, we cannot stay and be silent.
Karen, what tool and strategy do you use?
Yeah, so I'll talk about two. I'll second everything that they said, has been helpful for me. The two I want to highlight, though, the mentorship and training that we have been phenomenal. Everything Sylvia said is right. I can call my mentors, Chris and Erica Cobb, and work through any issue, work through an idea. They have a wealth of knowledge, and they're so committed to our success. It's amazing, and also they serve as a source of inspiration. So in our agency, I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest agent to be with them. Like, I've been with them longest, and I've seen from when they first started with life insurance and they were making like $1,000 a month till last year they hit a 3.4 million a year in just 5 years, 6 years, something like that. I've seen it, so it serves as a source of inspiration for me to keep me motivated all the time. In addition to the access to the training and the mentorship they provide. The second thing is automations. So, we were with a different company before, and we did not have access to the automations we have now. And it has made running our businesses so much easier. Um, when I book a client for an appointment, I have reminders that are automatically being sent out to me, the client, information sent out to the client for what they need. If I'm working towards a goal, whatever it is, there's just something in place to help me run pretty much every aspect of my business. And that has been, just phenomenal. So those would be the two things.
So one of y'all just reached broker level. Rachel, how does that feel?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You know what? It's so funny because actually it's not funny. It's been amazing. Um, I would say it's been emotional. It's one of those things where in retail, if anybody ever worked a store, there's like, associates, assistant managers, store managers, district managers, right? Where you get to travel around and you kind of feel like you're the bosses of the bosses. And for 20 years of my life, that was like the career goal that I wanted to hit for forever. I wanted to hit it. I worked in a store during the COVID shutdown. I worked in the store for 4 weeks by myself, right? I refolded every single thing in the store, reset all the displays, only for, when the civil unrest with George Floyd happened, the store I worked in had a riot. So 200 people that looked just like me, that were rightly mad about an injustice, tore that place up. I'm talking about blood drippings on the jewelry counter, all the Michael Kors stuff, just everything. All hell broke loose. No one was in that store when it was all over except for me and my husband, who had to call it, hey, hell breaking loose. The first question upper management asked me was, do you guys think you can clean up and still open the next day? And in that moment, I realized that I was not a highly paid executive that I thought I was. I was a highly paid essential employee. And if I would have died in there, they would have cut my husband the insurance check, tried to clean it up, and reopen like business was normal. And I made that company million, like literally, I know how to read a P&L statement. I can tell you I made that company millions of dollars. And to have thought that I did everything right, right? I went to school, I got good grades, I went to college on scholarship, right? I was the class president, I did all that nerdy crap, right? I did everything that America told me was the right thing to do, all for that to crash down like the work scam that it is, right? Because also I couldn't work myself rich. So to have achieved what I thought was my whole goal in less than 3 years in insurance, that I thought I had worked 20 years, gave up all those holidays, right? My husband, if you guys ever see this man is not a stay-at-home dad. That man sacrificed so I could have this career. We relocated. We did all of this stuff for none of that to be real life. So for me, I just asked God to give me something, and He delivered me. Like He chose me into an agency called Chosen. There's dates that lined up. Like my boss came to work and did something. We left that other company. Like, so it's just been one of those things where it's literally like you ask God for something and you just put in the work and you make the right connections. And when you have like those down moments when I thought like, oh, I had a team, I had this goal, and then it crashed and burned, right? When I thought I was gonna be this great, person this time, and then it didn't fall. And then, you learn to discipline your disappointment. So I've had so much, not only personal growth in this, um, the way we find agents, right, is just on social media. So I've DM'd agents, I've connected with them through Facebook groups. So my team is basically built of strangers. I'm located in Ohio. My strongest team members live in Texas. One of them I've never even seen face to face, and she's on track to hit the same promotion I just hit next month. So to not only have hit a goal for myself, but to be like a door opener for someone else to hit goals, and then know I'm like their families are like it's been a great feeling, and just to always be thought of, like thought I was an executive somewhere else and be kind of humbled and have to learn a new business, but then have hit my goal here. Um, it's just been amazing. I encourage people that like you need to start something part-time. You need to just lock in and figure out what'll make you happy, because I'm literally like I'm just like I'm floating. Like I'm just like so grateful and in disbelief almost that like I asked God for something and it came true really like in a year once I locked into what was needed to do. And then when I looked at the team and I kind of was like, I'm just going to lock in and execute. And I just got tired of looking at my own notes of the goals I was going to hit when. And so yeah, I locked in, and Sylvia and Kamaria were right there with me, like help. Literally, I just did a presentation yesterday. Kamaria helped me. They've talked me off the ledge when I want to like fuss at some of my agents when they ain't doing what I want them to do. So it's just been a great lesson of truly understanding that like it takes a village to hit these things, right? So like our mentorship, you need to have mentors, you need to be able to trust people, and you need to understand like you can't get offended when someone tells you like, okay, you're an executive, you make six figures, you ain't made six figures in insurance yet, so you need to like be quiet and listen to what I'm telling you, right? And our mentors are those type of people to tell you that.
Yep.
um but I tell my team that, right? And I'm telling these ladies, like, now y'all got to hit that, right? I'm on them probably harder than they was on me when it was time for me to hit the goal. But to have like true business besties that like ride or die for you and like your goals in this business and out, right? Like we know each other's kids and families and stuff now. So it's just an unbelievable feeling to like have a goal that's big and hard that requires other people. Um, and just literally if you stay the course, stay faithful, and just like follow the yellow brick road, which is funny because that's like kind of what we call our system to get agents onboarded. If you just follow what you should follow, you can hit your goals, and then keep going after that, like, right, hit something and then keep going.
What challenges have you faced, in becoming a broker on that journey?
A big one has been not want to do things my way, because I've been a hybrid entrepreneur. And for people that don't know what that means, basically like you're an entrepreneur, but you still got a day job, right? So like I'm sort of an entrepreneur full time, but I make full time income in my, but I still got it like the safety of a day job now still. Um, I would say the biggest challenge sometimes is balancing time and priorities. So literally sometimes I work 7 to 4 in my day job. I'm like, okay, and then I'm 5 to 9 insurance. And I only really can do that now because my children are adults. And that's recently happened, in the last 2 months. Um, and a lot of it's just keeping the mindset of like doing something every day, right? Because insurance isn't sexy, right? It's not like selling weight loss. It's going to, you're going to be like this when you're like, listen, you're going to be in the money, but it might be 50 years from now, right? Like I'm talking to you about like, but your grandkids, it's about the legacy, right? Like we're playing catch up, right? So sometimes it's just the sheer frustration of trying to, you feel like you're trying to convince people of what they need. Um, and then you kind of have to just understand, like, you can, what is it, take a horse to water, you can't force them to drink. Um, so I would say just balancing the fact that like I knew I could do it. I didn't get impatient when other people like hit it before me. And I think the biggest thing I would tell people is I live by the motto, like when I feel like I'm getting frustrated, and challenged, I tell myself, don't get jealous, get a notebook. Don't get jealous, get a notebook, right? So like don't get in my feelings about why someone's better or what's going on. I'm just like, I better take some notes, right? Because something I'm not doing, so I need to tweak something. So I think just remembering to stay humble and just keep going, like stay resilient, just keep going, right? Like most people I think don't launch a business till 40s, right? I think Warren Buffett, he became a millionaire in his 50s or something. Like, so we just gotta reset our expectations to realistically and not let social media and the world tell you how fast you should have success, because most businesses either fail in the first year or they're not profitable for 5 years. So when I think about what I've really achieved in a 3-year period, that kind of sets my realistic edge, like, okay, girl, you actually did pretty good, like settle down, and just keep going. So just kind of keeping yourself on an even keel of good days, bad days, just something every day, just progress towards your goal every day. Just trying to keep that mindset probably is the biggest challenge.
How does this milestone impact your team and future goals?
So it impacts my team because it actually kind of changes everything, right? So we get kicked out of the nest, right? So before we were under like the wings of our mentors, and now I'm kind of like not necessarily competing, but like my name is kind of going to separate and be on the leaderboard. So yeah, I'm going to have to keep up and try to beat my mentor on a daily basis, which is going to be a whole challenge in of itself. Um, but I think it changes because like some of the automations that Kamaria talked about now, literally like it'll be automated to my calendar, right? All of my team stuff will go to me. And a lot of it surrounds around like the responsibilities. Like I now have to help train our entire team. If, they call me and say, hey, we need your help with XYZ, it kind of has to happen. What's next is promoting some of my agents to broker. Like I said, the way we've ran this milestone and really focused on not just my success, but the team success, training my agents. So for me, it's not about like me being on the leaderboard. I want the most agents and names on the leaderboard, right? I want all of my agents that are licensed to be actually collecting a paycheck. So we've got another person on track to hit the same promotion next month, and I've got 2 more agents slated to hit it in 60 days. So what's next is just keeping this thing going, like hitting regional director and growing this thing nationwide for anyone and everyone that wants to join and help us, get on this mission.
So what is it like being a woman in a traditionally male-dominated industry?
To me, it's great because I'm one of those people that I really don't talk about things I don't know about, but I'm one of those people that, like, when I walk in, I'm taking over. So in my mind, like, if I walked in a room, I would take over the room of those white men and tell them, like, here's what we're going to do. This is why this doesn't work. This is why you're not making any money. This is why you're still spending $5,000 a month on leads because you won't post people on Facebook for free. Like, I just go back to that, keeping it real. And I think the results, kind of like the women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. Like,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like, our company goes to conferences and we are outselling people because we can just touch more people. Like, someone is on at home on his phone and he's calling 200 people a day and he might be getting to 15. I might be sending 200 DMs and I'm getting responses from 50. And because I'm getting on there with my real personality and not some script and not this and not that, and I'm also closing people. And I think the other reality is, and this is the other thing I think for Black and Brown people specifically right now, is insurance companies understand that I can go into markets that they can't. And that's just the truth. Like, I can sell policies in places that they will never touch, and they compensate us pretty well to do it. So, just understanding that there's a niche market in the industry, and if we simply get our people to understand what that opportunity is, we'll take over this industry very quickly.
What advice do you have for women looking to build wealth and financial stability?
The advice I would give is I think you have to entertain becoming a hybrid entrepreneur. And I think that for a couple of reasons. The fact that 67% of people don't have Black households don't have retirement income is scary. And we've got to play catch up. And the quickest way to catch up is not to get another part-time job, it's to start some type of income and something that can then become passive. So for example, the life insurance agent opportunity alone has 3 income streams. So right now, I make money just selling policies, seeing clients myself. Because I have a team, I get what's called an override. So what my team produces, I basically get a bonus from the insurance companies for helping them build their sales force. And then once you've had a policy in place for a year, the company pays your residuals. So if I was trying to figure out how I could bring more money into into my family, I would entertain getting a life insurance license because, again, it's a $200 maybe investment for plenty of ROI down the line for years to come. The other thing I would suggest is communicating more. And I mean that in a multitude of ways, right? So if you're a mother, you need to communicate to your kids financial habits, right? It's one of the things that they don't teach in school, so we have to do it for ourselves. Um, if you are in a relationship, you got to communicate because money is the number one cause of divorces and arguments in general. And right now, the reality is it's going to take Black women and men to play this catch up game with the families because the reality is married households make 4 times more than a single household. So not two because it's two people, four, like it 4X's. So I think we got to understand the power in numbers. And then we've also got to communicate with our families. Like, we have to be the one to say, hey, we're going to have a family meeting where we all get everybody together. And here's who we're going to get life insurance on. Here's who's going to have a mutual fund. Here's who's going to open a business the same way that other communities do. So I think we've just got to be able to take initiative and understand that, like, yes, we're the caregivers, but right now, women, we're in a unique opportunity where we're starting to tip the scales in terms of college education, the home ownership. So we have to educate ourselves and then be able to communicate what needs to happen, what we're working on, so we can educate our entire families on what's happening.
What about you, Sylvia? What advice do you have for women looking to build wealth?
Similar to what Rachel said, definitely that education. Starting at home with your children, educating them on finances, financial security, and then just believing in yourself. Because sometimes we as women, we feel like we can't do as much as a man does when it comes to our income caps, how much money we're making. But we can make just as much as a man, if not more than a man. We can lead a company. We can lead this world. So just believing in yourself and taking the chance, taking the risk. Don't just sell yourself short because you're a woman. Like, you can do all that you want to do. You just have to believe in yourself to get it done. And just educate yourself when it comes to finances. Learning all that you can learn as a woman, as an individual, when it comes to finances.
So Cam, how do you balance being an entrepreneur from your personal life? How do you balance that out?
I don't know what balance is. I am still figuring it out. However, I have gotten better, and one, automations helps a lot. It takes a lot of the time out of my running my business. Um, Duplicating myself, I'm building up leaders who are more self-sufficient, and I'm able to delegate more things now. That helps. And also, I have a lot of support. And I know a lot of people, you want to start a business or something, and you don't feel like you have a lot of support from your family or your friends. I built my support system. Okay, most of my support system is right here on this call. And that helps me to balance it out. So, yeah.
How about you, Rachel?
I would say it's a trick. It's a trick to balance. And I kind of don't blend it anymore, right? Because I think once you build a brand or you keep just talking about something, people just get it. So right now, people either looking at me like, "Oh, that's the girl that run that store we all go to," or they like, "Don't talk to her. She about to ask us about insurance," right? When I really don't ever ask people like out in public, but I don't really balance it anymore because like a lot of times really once you're in something like life insurance, it's so personal that you are talking to people about it in your personal life. And a lot of times I'm also trying to really most of my networking clients right now too are people that I know. It's my Facebook feed at this point who I've worked with over the past 20 years. We've been in some type of coaching group together or something like, how I met Sylvia and Kamaria. So it's one of those where our personal life right now, my personal life, I think it like some of my hobbies are reading, right? And developing leaders and just trying to figure out how I can give myself the edge to be like a servant leader to my team in the community. So a lot of it blends at, I'm like Rachel, the life insurance lady now, right? I'm the leader of Team Hope, right? We help others protect and elevate, right? We selling life insurance or start helping you launch an insurance business. And that's kind of who I am. And it's kind of nice now that I don't have to be like store manager, right? And then it's like Rachel at home. Like it's just this is me, right? I'm a leader, I'm a broker now, I'm a team developer. It's just kind of like what I do.
What about you, Sylvia? How do you balance it out?
I'm not sure honestly how I balance it all. I just focus on everything really. I have a plate and everything is on that plate, whether it's my children, my husband, my business. I focus on it all. And my insurance business, that's coming to the forefront of things when it comes to my life and where I want to be at in my future. Because I haven't always had it there where it should be. But I know now, my insurance business is where I want it to be. I want it to grow and be bigger than what it is right now. So I'm focusing on building my brand, building myself, and building my team of agents, just to help them grow and develop as well. So just I'm still in that learning phase, honestly, Larry, when it comes to balancing everything with my personal life and my insurance business, just making sure that I'm taking care of everything in all areas.
And what advice would you give someone looking to pursue a career in life insurance?
The first thing, just do it. Just do it. I see so many people who wait, they think about it, they waste a year, 2 years, and they miss out on so much opportunity. And then when they start, they're like, why didn't I just do it?
Hmm.
So my first advice is just do it. Rachel mentioned the cost of entry is low. For most states, less than $200, you can get licensed with our program. We have some things that help you to spend less than $200, but less than $200, you can get licensed and you can make that back in one policy.
Hmm.
You can make it back in one policy. So if you never write another policy, you tried out life insurance, you got your money back, and you move on. You got some information that you can share with people, and okay. But most times, people are not moving on. They're realizing the value here, and they're winning, changing their families' lives. They're changing their perspective. The mentorship and training that we get access to is improving people's confidence in other areas. We have so many people who are business owners in other businesses, and they come back and they're like, what we learned here is helping my other business grow too, or it's helping me on my job, it's helping me with my family. Like, you cannot lose by starting. The other thing is to choose your FMO, which is the agency you would be under, and your mentor as well. So, I did not mention this earlier, but I had tried life insurance before when I was younger twice, and both times did not work. I did not choose one, a good agency that aligned with my values. The agency I chose, they didn't have enough variety for me to cover people that needed to be covered. They were pushing a message that I knew was not the full truth. And the mentors I had were not as, I wouldn't say they were as equipped, but if they were as equipped, they were not sharing it with us. We were not getting the level of mentorship and training we're getting here, and it's changed everything. And the final thing I would add is you have to prepare yourself for a mindset shift. You have to prepare yourself to let go of so much that you know, think, and believe, because a lot of the things that we believe, we've been conditioned to believe. A lot of times we think that's just who I am. I'm this person. But no, you became that person, whether it came from your childhood, whether it's a reaction to certain experiences you've had, whether you picked it up in school, you became the person you are for a reason. And if you're unhappy where you are, you've got to change who that person is. That person can't take you to the next level. That person can't take you into the next opportunity. So you have to mentally prepare yourself that in order to be successful here, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have to change my way of thinking. And don't resist it, because then you'll be successful faster.
What about you, Rachel? What advice would you give somebody looking to pursue a career in life insurance?
Pretty much the same. I definitely would say just do it. Don't wait. Because when I think about back in 2005, if I would have just stayed the course, now that I know like the way money works, the rule of 72, like I would be so wealthy right now. But I agree, the mentorship and the company that you're partnered with, I think determines a lot of your success. So if you have an unsupportive environment where you can't get any type of feedback or you can't get any type of training, I think when things aren't explained well, you just kind of don't know where to go. So you need pretty much a company that gives you a roadmap. You definitely need to have a great mentor. And I think you just need to have the courage to dive in and learn something new and then understand the true mission of life insurance in terms of covering someone's current situation. So, like if they are using living benefits. So if someone happens to get sick, you need to understand that sometimes life insurance is for the living, and then sometimes life insurance is to create legacy. So I would just challenge people to dive in, educate themselves, but essentially just dive in and launch your career into insurance, find a great mentor and a company that matches your values. Because I think where you're comfortable at, you can thrive at.
What about you, Sylvia?
Definitely piggyback off the both Rachel and what Kamaria said. Kamaria was actually in my head because I was gonna say the person you are today when you start that insurance career, you can't be that same person 5 months, a year down the line. You're gonna have to be a different person. You're gonna have to have a shift in order to excel in your career. So come in with an open mind. If you do want to join the insurance industry, you want to join chosen agency, preferably come in with an open mind because you're going to have that in order to succeed and to be successful. Um, Read, study, and don't overthink things because sometimes overthinking leads folks to quitting, and you don't want to overthink because that's just open the door to failure. Because things may be challenging when you start out because it's new, like you're driving down a whole new road in life. So it may be challenges, but don't allow those challenges to deter you from where your future can go.
And if somebody would want to connect with you and learn more about insurance, how could they do that?
My Instagram is marked, MARKED, financial. My website is markedfinancial.com. And you can reach me on email, info@markedfinancial.com.
If somebody want to connect with you, Rachel, how could they do that?
They can find me on Instagram. It's at Pettis, my last name, PETTIS underscore effect, EFFECT. And I'm on Facebook as Rachel Pettis.
If somebody want to connect with you, Sylvia, how could they do that?
My Instagram handle is Sylvia Tut. That's SYLVIATUTT underscore EWS. And you can find me at Sylvia Tut on Facebook, TikTok, those two platforms. My phone number is 803-814-4307. All of that information is going to be on my social media handles. So if you need to get in contact with me, feel free to reach out and connect with me.
So, Cam, what's next for you? So with your future endeavors with life insurance?
Yes. So next is my broker promotion. I'm coming right behind Rachel, May at the latest. I'll be a broker as well. And I've got some other big things coming that I can't announce just yet. But if you follow Marked Financial on Instagram, you'll get the updates.
So what's next for you, Sylvia?
Same thing. I'm working towards my broker promotion. I'm behind Camp. My date is June the 30th. For my broker promotion, that's what I'm working on right now, and helping my team, one of my agents that's here in South Carolina as well, towards her promotion. So, when it comes to my team, just growing and continuing to educate folks. I want to get a dynamic team here in South Carolina, where I'm currently located, so that we not only meet folks virtually, but we can travel throughout the state and meet folks in person, go to churches and educate communities. But this year is about getting in person and actually talking to folks face to face, and not just, on a Zoom platform, because it's convenient, of course. But I want to let folks know who we are and just get to know us as persons, so that we can just grow and just educate our communities all the way around.
So what's next for you, Rachel?
Well, Larry, I'm going to flex a little bit. I ain't going to hold you up.
Okay. Flex on the rage.
What I mean by that is, in life insurance, there's agents and then there's brokers. So at the broker level, what I mean is just going to pop my collar a little bit more and get out here on social media and be like, listen, as a broker, I'm telling you X, Y, Z. Really leveraging that achievement that, there's now some weight behind my name. I put some work in, and I am going to leverage the knowledge, but now I'm going to leverage the position and the power that it has, to just help more educate our community. But in terms of what's next, it's helping these ladies definitely hit theirs, because they've been instrumental in supporting me to mine. They also are helping support my team in there. So we're basically doing that for each other, definitely reciprocating those efforts, and then helping some of my agents hit broker, and then just kind of helping really grow the agency. So Chosen Agency by definition is a smaller agency. But it's a smaller agency. I would say about 500 or 600 Black and Brown agents. We are diverse, so there is everybody in there. But we're really on mission. We are taking the industry by storm. We're using automation, tech. It just feels different here. It feels like a family. It doesn't feel like, bullying. We're all on commission, but it never feels catty. It just feels supportive. So for me, it's really helping grow my own team and my own influence, but at the same time, leveraging that to really help put this company on the map, because it's something that I really feel strongly about. I see a future here, and I definitely think that we just need to cover more families with insurance, and then get more people potentially making great income part-time, covering, their loved ones that we need to get this message to anyway. So just growing the business, growing the team, and working on growing the impact.
Well, ladies, I appreciate y'all dropping that knowledge and coming to chill and vibe. But before we go, let everybody know what we doing.
Chilling
Children and
and
vibing.
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 Thank you.